Hey everybody, what's up? This is another Lost recap, Lost review for episode 413 called There's No Place Like Home Part 2. You guys know the drill. If you're not a fan of Lost, this is full of spoilers. If you're not a fan of Lost, just say hello, leave a comment, and cool. Now, for everybody watching this, this is about. Last night was like a 2 hour episode. This is part one of the two-part episode. Online, they actually broke it up in half because that's how the DVD is going to be. So I decided there's so much to talk about. So I'm just going to do my review of the first half of this, of part two, which is episode 413. My next review, I'm going to do another review, which will be episode 414, which is part three, the big finale. There's just too much to talk about. I'll do that part. I'll do the part for 414 probably tomorrow, and then next week, next Thursday, I'm gonna do another review, kind of season 4 altogether, and then the week after that, I have something else special figured out for another season recap. So I've got some more Lost videos coming up, so stick with me. Okay, here we go. First of all, how cool was it? The previously on Lost, they showed the way season 3 ended. Right when it ended, all of a sudden the flash forward continues from that, with Kate actually stopping and talking to Jack. How cool was that to revisit that? That was, I think, still one of the best season finales ever. So to see that and to see a little bit more of the story of Kate and Jack, knowing what we know now, was awesome. Next thing we do, we're on the island near the helicopter with Ben and Kami, and the others do a full-fledged attack on Kami's military guys. I thought it was cool how they showed up. You hear the whispers in the woods again. So the whispers to me tell me that the others are there, but does that signify them communicating to each other, some type of telepathic thing? Or is it just them actually whispering to each other? But it seems more ominous than that. And I loved how when they were fighting, they were total badasses about this. It reminded me of the Ewoks fighting in Return of the Jedi. They were just fighting with sticks and ropes and things like that. There was one person got shot in the neck with a little thing, but it was like all very organic things compared to these military guys with their shotguns. So that was pretty awesome. Okay, flash forward. We see a grown-up Walt visiting Hurley. Now, I always wondered what they were going to do with Walt because he's shot up. But what they did, the flash forward now, is 3 years in the future. So it's a future Walt. So Walt would be 3 years older. The show started in 2004. Right now on the island, it's the 2004 around Christmas time, possibly January of 2005. So now this is 3 years later. So this is roughly 2007 or 2008 that we see Hurley in the mental hospital. Walt would be older. They have a little talk, and Hurley says, we had to protect people, the people that we left behind. And Walt says, like your dad? And Hurley says, yeah. And I think he lies. I think Michael is dead because Hurley has no idea. The last he saw, the freighter exploded. So Hurley is lying even to Walt. The next scene is the Orchid Station, the top part of it at least. We see a little confrontation between Jack and Locke. And this was great. This was like classic Jack and Locke. Locke starts the whole bit about we're there for a reason. And the knowledge is going to eat you alive. And we all know that, seeing the flash forward, that Jack does fall apart with the knowledge that he didn't stay there. He says, we are here to protect the island. This is a place of miracles. He said it's not an island, it's a place where miracles happen. Jack says there's no such thing, and it goes right back to that man of science, man of faith thing from like the first 3 or 4 episodes where it really divided up these characters. I thought that was just great to see them probably together for the last time, at least on the island. Okay, let's go over to the freighter. We see Sun. She talks to Michael. She says, I'm pregnant. That seemed a little weird. I think that was implying that they maybe had something going on. But we saw the baby. The baby is obviously Jin's. Okay, go back to the island. You have Faraday, Charlotte, and Miles kind of all saying their goodbye. Miles wants to stick around. He seems oddly at peace, even though Rose is giving him the business about those Dharma peanuts. But What's up with that, and why, in the end, does Charlotte want to stay there? She says, Miles says, you've been always trying to get back here. And then later on, Charlotte says to Faraday, I'm still looking for where I was born. So was she originally on the island? What is her backstory? There's a lot with her. Is she Annie? Is she Locke's girlfriend from the past? Not Locke, Ben's girlfriend from the past, or Jacob's daughter? I don't know. That seemed a little weird. But I thought it was really weird that Miles wanted to stick around. Okay, we go to the Orchid Station after the elevator, where they click in the Dharma video. I thought this was really neat seeing Locke in there. It reminded me totally of the Hatch, and it showed me how much Locke kind of became a bit of a weenie when he was in that Hatch. His purpose, he went from being this warrior provider to being this number punching guy like he used to be in that box factory. So it was really cool to see that, and it was cool to see the Dharma video finally explain that they are doing space and time experiments, and that they said, and I wrote this down, they're adjacent to a negatively charged exotic matter. The vault was, and that exotic matter, I believe, is what ends up moving the island. I think it's what they were controlling in the Hatch. And I love the quote when Locke says to Ben, so what are we talking about here? Time traveling bunnies? And Ben says, yep. Okay, we go over to the helicopter. We see Saeed, Kate, Jack, Hurley, and Sawyer. Now this was getting cool because I'm like, okay, this is almost the Oceanic 6. Is this really going to happen? I never thought they would get rescued. And here, it suddenly, by this point in the episode, it looks like they're actually going to get rescued. I absolutely loved how Sawyer calls the pilot, Frank, calls him Kenny Rogers. But in the end, Sawyer has just redeemed himself. And it reminded me a lot of last season with Charlie, where he kind of comes to peace. They're flying to the boat. They're losing fuel because it was shot up with the machine guns. And right before he makes a sacrifice and jumps out of that helicopter, he whispers something to Kate. Now, we know that in a couple episodes ago, Kate says, I have to do something for Sawyer. What it is, nobody knows. I think it's something to do with his daughter, that Kate actually knows the mother of the daughter through an odd connection again. We don't really know that. He jumps out of the helicopter right at the end of the episode, and we think that, I thought actually he was dead. Now, the next episode we see he's still alive on the island. But for all Kate knows, she doesn't know if he got back. Okay, we're in the Orchid Station. I'm kind of jumping scenes here, but where we see Kami shows up. That guy was scary as hell to me. When he was walking around, it reminded me of a scene from either Die Hard or Aliens. Kind of, he's got these bloody stump of feet. And Locke was actually trying to be decent Locke again and compromise with the guy and talk to him. And when he says about Alex, did you like watching her bleed or something like that? When Kami says that, Ben just goes apeshit on him and stabs him in the neck and kills him. And he says, I have a death man's trigger hooked up to my arm here. And when Locke says to Ben, don't you know what you did? You just killed all those people on that boat. Ben says, so? Just kind of like the brat he is. One last thing, we're back on the island. Everybody's saying goodbye. All the kind of extras are on the boat with Faraday. Juliet decides to stay back. I think this showed how honorable she actually is. I had been questioning her the entire time, and I think she's come to peace with that. But then the episode ends with Sawyer jumping. That's how part 2 of the season finale ended. Part 2 of the 3-part thing. The explosion, all of that happens at the very beginning of next episode. So, that's all for this part. I will be back tomorrow to talk about the final hour. Please leave all your comments only relating to this video, to this part of the finale. A lot of crap goes on at the last hour of the show, so we'll talk about that in the next video and the next comment section. So for now, leave any comments relating to part 2. A lot still happened. My only disappointment, if I had a criticism, I felt like they were building this entire season up for a big confrontation with the others, the Islanders, and the freighter people, and they ended that almost before the opening credits. But other than that, part 2 was pretty amazing. Part 3, I couldn't sleep last night. So that's all for now. I will talk to you guys within a day, wrapping this whole thing up. Talk to you later. Bye.